My name is Tamani Mwandani. I'm a contributing member of the Black Gold Nation movement. I'm making this video because there have been some solutions floating around the internet being forwarded by people that are most certainly good efforts, good intentions, obviously, to help move our people along. But a few things are missing. I've been a contributing member of this particular movement for almost 4 years. We started in November of 2016, but I have a very fortunate and blessed background to have lived in a community here in the greater Houston, Texas area that was owned and controlled by black people for almost 20 years. I am the direct revolutionary product, if you will, of one Cardinal and Bayou Chewy out of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and an indirect revolutionary product of one Jeramogi Bebe Ajiman, Reverend Albert B. Clay, who was the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. The things that I am about to share with you, I have learned, I've been taught, I've been trained, not only in the Shrine, but in the Black Gold Nation movement, so I'm not guessing with what I'm about to share. This is what I have come to learn, realize, understand fully as it relates to trying to help my people move along to be bigger, better, and stronger. So I'm going to share with you a few things that I think we get wrong as a people and we don't fully understand. Then I'm going to share with you what I believe the solutions are, and then most importantly how we can achieve those solutions. So there are 10 things that I feel like we don't get or we don't fully understand. The first one is that we like to demand stuff from people. We demand this, we demand that. You owe us this, you owe us that, and the demand is usually righteous. I mean, it makes sense, and what we're owed obviously makes sense if you understand anything as it relates to our history in this country. However, we don't have the power to demand anything. You can demand all day long. No one cares about your demand because you don't have the power to implement any sort of result, any sort of kickback, pushback, if that demand does not occur. So what happens if we don't fulfill your demand? Nothing, because you can do nothing because you don't have any power. We don't seem to understand that. We love to demand crap, but no one's going to give us what we're demanding, which is why we never get it, because we don't have the power to back anything up. That's the first one. Number two, thinking that this is a one or two funnel war. I hear black people saying all the time, we need to educate ourselves first. No, we need to do spirituality first. No, we need to do economics first. No, we need to do politics first. No, we need to do have our own military first. All of which is incorrect. We don't have the luxury of doing one thing at a time. We have to do all this stuff simultaneously at the same time. We have to chew bubblegum, moonwalk, backflip, and double dutch at the same time. It's unfair. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Being black in America, being black on this planet is different than being anything else. So what we have to do is absolutely different than what other people have to do, because they are not dealing with what it means to be black in an anti-black world, and they're not dealing with what we have been through with it, which is a conditioning process that has us acting and thinking against our own best interests. Number three, thinking that thinking that just because we are within our legal rights, we are not going to be mistreated and or punished and or killed. No one cares about legality when it comes to us. No one cares about what's going to happen when it comes to us. And that goes back to the first one. We don't have any power. So until you are able to make people pay for what they do to you, or you're able to make them pay for not respecting your rights as a legal person, then you can't. It doesn't matter. Being legally right has not stopped our people from being lynched and murdered. Has not stopped land from being stolen. Has not stopped property from being destroyed. Legally, it doesn't matter, because being black, again, is different than being anything else in this country or even on this planet. Number four, trying to get people who prey upon us to all of a sudden flip and start protecting us. We got to understand that we have enemies in this country. Predators exist in and around every black community in this country, and all of our enemies and all of our predators are not white people. Our enemies and our predators come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. All of our kinfolk ain't our kinfolk. Just because a person is black doesn't mean that they are your ally. And just because a person is white doesn't automatically make them your enemy. That's ridiculous. No movement that we've ever had has been penetrated by white people and destroyed by white people without the assistance of a black person. We sell ourselves out for a number of reasons. So so believing that people who like to kill their own, our quote-unquote gang members, doesn't mean that they're automatically going to pick up a weapon and kill other people. We've been conditioned not to do that, which is why we don't. We will brag about killing a brother or a sister, but when it comes to killing those that are killing us, that don't look like us, we don't do that. So expecting a group of people who freely take the lives of their own people to all of a sudden protect us is ridiculous and is unrealistic, and it's not going to happen. It never happens that way. Number 5, shopping black is an answer. It's very easy to say shop black, shop black, shop black, and of course that makes sense. Circulating the black dollar within the black community is a very good idea. However, how can you shop black if black doesn't exist? How do you shop black if black isn't where you live? How do you shop black when black isn't what you need? If we don't have businesses that we own and control within a 1 to 3 mile radius of where our people live, then guess what? That black dollar is not going to circulate. The hundreds of millions of dollars that flow through black communities are flowing through businesses that are within 1 to 3 miles of where our people live. They can walk to these businesses, they can catch the bus to these businesses, or they can catch an Uber, and it's not too expensive because they're close by. We have to have a plan, a process, a strategy to take control of the economics in our communities so that shopping black can become a reality, because black is right around the corner. And if we don't do that, then shopping black will always become something that sounds good but never fully happen, because we don't have enough of that black to shop. So we have to be serious about implementing a solution that's going to put that black in a geographic location by which we can use it and shop it. Number 6, thinking that a logical answer to and or for black people is going to work. We're not a logical people. We're not like everybody else. And we're not like everybody else because no one has been through what we've been through. We've been through over 400 years of operant and systematic and even systemic oppression, terror, and destruction. Again, we've been conditioned to think and act in ways that are anti our own forward progress. No other people on this planet think and act against their own forward progress, but again, no one has been through what we've been through. So thinking that because something makes sense, black people are going to do it is unrealistic. Thinking that something is logical is going to work for black people is unrealistic. Thinking that just because it makes sense on paper, we're going to do it because other people do it. That's not how we function. That's not how we think, and it's not going to work just because it makes sense. So for people who think that this just makes sense, we should do it. Well, yeah, you're probably right, but we're not going to because of what we've been through, and that goes back to people not fully understanding, as I often say, what we're up against and what we're dealing with, and what we have to implement in order to reverse the conditioning of our people. Number 7, we want overnight solutions for centuries-old problems. We want overnight solutions for centuries-old problems, and we want somebody else to do it. We don't understand that we're dealing with an entrenched enemy that's both physical and non-physical. We're dealing with physical entities that seek to destroy and or subjugate or keep us in a second-class status. But we're also dealing with a non-physical enemy that's in our heads. We don't understand how deep the conditioning is. We don't understand that this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We don't understand that it is not going to happen overnight. We don't understand that this is chess, not checkers. If we want to have things that we are owed, if we want to have things that we think we deserve to have, then you got to put a system, a plan, a strategy in place so that thing can happen at some point. A lot of us don't want to put in on a feasible solution because we won't be around or alive to see it come to fruition. And you have some of our millennials now saying, I am not my ancestors. Well, yeah, you're not. Because they understood that what they were doing, they understood the ultimate goal, but they understood that they might not be around long enough to see that thing come to fruition. But they understood that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And our people don't get that. We want overnight solutions for centuries-old problems, and we want somebody else to do it. Number 8, we say we want unity. We say we want unity, but we do nothing to ensure that that unity comes into fruition. And a lot of us are so easy and quick to quit on the implementation or the development of that unity, not understanding we're quitting on our children. We talk all day long. I hear black people saying all the time, we need to unify, we need to unify, we need to come together, blah, blah, blah. And we don't understand that unity for us has to be intentional. Because of what we've been through, we're not just going to unify because someone says we need to unify. We're not just going to unify because it makes sense. We're not just going to come together because it's logical, because again, we're not logical people. And a lot of our people who talk about unity, they're not really ready for unity because they don't know what unity looks like. They don't know what it takes to build that unity. And again, we quit. I can't tell you how many people that I've come across, hundreds, literally, in the 4 years I've been doing this thing, that have, we have a Black Gold Ambassador application that people fill out. They say all the right things, wonderful stuff about being black, this is what they're looking for, they want to be a part of their children, blah, 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 blah. And they quit. 1, 2 weeks into it, 1, 2, 3 months into it, they quit. Because they don't understand that this is not easy, this is difficult. And if you don't fully understand what you're up against, you will quit because it's hard work. It's very, very, like the minister Louis Farrakhan says, we are a very difficult people to love. And we're difficult people to love because we've been through so much. Hell, most of us don't even love ourselves despite what we say. And it's obvious that we don't love ourselves by the way our communities look and by what we don't do to make those communities better. So number 8 is what we get wrong and what we don't understand is that unity is work. Unity has to be intentional. And just saying it doesn't make it so. And if you say you want unity, then you have to be committed to making that unity a reality. You absolutely must have an undying love and commitment to black people to work through the issues that black people have, and most of us don't have that kind of love. Most of us don't have that kind of understanding. Most of us don't have that kind of patience. We don't know how to love our people from where we are as opposed to where we want them to be. And a lot of us think that we are at that level where we are supposed to be, but most of us aren't. We don't know how to love our people from where they are and then love them long enough so that they can be better. And again, we quit before we get started, and we think we're quitting on the movement. We think we're quitting on that solution, whereas in fact we're quitting on ourselves, we're quitting on our ancestors, we're quitting on our parents, and we're quitting on our children and every generation of black child to follow. If you are not every single day putting in time to build something that's going to create power for black people, then you are a part of the problem and you are failing black people. But again, most of us don't understand that. Number 9, thinking that our ability to love and forgive really matters. We love to love and we love to forgive. And we think that's going to matter, but our enemies don't give a damn about your love. They don't care about your ability to forgive. As a matter of fact, they probably laugh at you. Oh, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to get upset. They're going to talk about boycotting. They're going to march in the street. Then they're going to love us. They're going to forgive us. And they're going to continue to do what they've always done. And I will say that the protests that are going on right now, that our young people have sparked and are leading for the most part, not in every aspect, but physically they're out there. You got to commend that because they are out there. But if that physical act of protest is not connected with an intelligent, strategic plan to build power, to use that energy to build power, to take the next step, then it's going to be a waste of time. And I believe that a lot of people that are out there that are not black are simply using the energy of our people, using the moment for other things. There have been some very nefarious groups of people amongst these protests doing some things that they shouldn't be doing that has absolutely nothing to do with another lynching and or assassination of a black person. But that's what we do. A lot of us think that our ability to love is enough. I think that was one of Dr. King's biggest issues, not understanding that showing love to a people who don't care or have the inability to feel empathy or to love, your love doesn't matter because they don't care about you or your love. And then number 10, not fully understanding the global game of white supremacy and racism. A lot of us think that leaving America is the answer, as if wherever we go, we're not going to have to deal with the same power structure in other places, as if America doesn't run these things that happen in other places. A lot of us don't understand the global game of white supremacy and racism, so we think they're taking our issue to the UN. Not understanding that America runs the UN. America is the largest financial contributor and supporter of the UN. Who has the power to bring America to court? That's not going to work. But we believe that because we don't understand how deep this thing is. We don't understand how gangster, as the national director of our political strategy and implementation department, Brother Craig Lee likes to say, we don't understand how gangster politics is. And we surely don't understand that politics is war. And we don't understand why we keep losing. And we keep losing because we're not engaged in the war. Because a lot of our people don't vote because we don't understand politics. How are we going to win if we're not even on the battlefield? But again, that's one of the reasons why we lose and what we get wrong, because we don't understand the importance of politics, voting, having a political machine that works for you. And we think that leaving America, our power base, and going somewhere else is all of a sudden going to make things better for us, not understanding that, you know, wherever we might want to go, we have to deal with the same global game of white supremacy and racism. We have to deal with the same white boy, different accent. We have to deal with the same power structure, the same game. So if we don't have a power base by which we can connect with another physical geographic entity, so we can actually help them, then we're simply taking our problems to them. And we have to understand that America doesn't care about your sovereignty. We think having space somewhere where we are our own nation, where we we are sovereign citizens, or we have our own space. That's not how power works. America has assassinated leaders of other countries, and those were sovereign nations. I'm not sure who said this. It may have been a rapper. But anybody can be got. Remember the movie Black Panther, Killmonger. Killmonger was a CIA operative. He was a part of a unit called JSOC. That's a real unit. And what they do in the real world is destabilize governments. You having some sovereign land somewhere, be it in this country or somewhere else, doesn't automatically and or immediately eliminate the issue of white supremacy and racism. Because America doesn't care about your sovereign land, your sovereign citizenship, your charter. If America wants you gone, then America will do what it has always done to remove you from the earth. That is why it's so important that we understand this global game of politics and how gangster it is, and how, if we're going to win, we have to also play that game on a completely different level. We got to stop playing checkers and start playing chess. Hell, we got to stop playing marbles and start playing chess. And we don't understand that, and that's another thing that we get wrong. So those are the top 10 things I think that we get wrong, and God knows I could list a few more, but trying to keep it brief. Those are 10 things that we get wrong. Okay, how we win. We absolutely must put ourselves in a position to own and or control the environment. We cannot do that if we don't have political power. Nothing happens to, for, or against a community that does not involve a politician's pen and or political power. So to all of my brothers and sisters who say that voting doesn't matter, you are wrong 100%. I can see how you might feel that way nationally when it comes to voting, but locally, voting is very important, because those political entities that are acting in your town or in your city, they affect how you live your everyday life. So we absolutely must organize ourselves to have political power so that we can own and or control the space where our people live. That's number one. Number two, we have to be in a position to implement our own systems that affect every aspect of our lives. We got to have our own economic system. We got to have our own agricultural system. We got to have our own spiritual system. We got to have our own security system. We got to have our own, if I didn't already say, economic and education system. We need our own stuff across the board. Every single thing that the American system has, we need to have the exact same thing. But that thing that we have has to promote and support and move forward the black mind, body, spirit, and psyche. Because America's systems have proven that they are anti-us. They have proven that they are racist, and they have proven that they don't care about the black mind, body, spirit, and psyche. So it is a waste of time for us to continue to try and get justice or get those systems to do right by us, because they have proven over the past 400 years that they don't care about you. So we got to have our own systems that we implement, that we can control, to ensure that we're moving forward. And the third thing, and all of these are high-level bullets, of course there are sub-bullets to all of them, but the third thing is that we have to build our own institutions. If we don't have a way by which to reverse the conditioning of our people that's been forced upon us since we've been here for over 400 years, then we're going to continue to think and behave in the exact same ways. So we need institutions that will heal us. We need institutions that will educate us. We need institutions that will help us organize, and we need institutions that will help us implement solutions that will allow us to push back against everything that's happening to black people, which is happening on purpose. If we cannot control the environment, we are going to lose. If we cannot control every aspect of that environment, we are going to lose. If we don't have our own institutions by which we can do our own thing as we see fit, we are going to lose. If we don't have these three things working in concert to move our people forward, we are going to lose. So, how do we make some of these things happen so that we can start winning? Number one, we absolutely must connect and organize with black people who are ready to be connected to and who are ready to be organized with. We need black people who are ready. Not just talkers, not just those that want to post on social media. We need black people who are ready, willing, and able to do, and that they understand that we don't have a lot of time to get this right. This is probably our last time to get this thing right. So we have about 4 or 5 years to put something in place that's on automatic pilot that's going to keep black people safe and allow black people to do their own thing as black people see fit. And if we don't get it right this time, we're probably going to become a permanent underclass in the country that we built. So the first thing that we have to do to make all of this stuff a reality is find black people who are ready, willing, and able to do, so we can plug them into a system to show them how to do. The second thing that we absolutely must have to make this stuff happen is we have to pool our economic resources. Individually, a lot of us are struggling economically, financially. But as a group, we have more money than several small nations on this planet. If you were to look at the top 100 countries on the planet as it relates to their gross domestic product, black people just in America alone, we generate more capital than number 26 to number 100. Black people in America, and I'm just talking about in America, we generate a lot of capital. But you never know that by the way our communities look and by the way we live our lives. So we have to find a way to get that capital so we can do something for ourselves. So we have to find a way to pool our resources. In the Black Gold Nation movement, we say we're trying to get $5 a month from our members and our supporting members and 5 minutes a day. Remember the movie Black Panther? That movie made over $1 billion in the first month. It made $1 billion in the second month as well. I'm not sure about the second month. But in the first month, conservative estimates are that black people gave 75 to 80% of $1 billion. That is $750 to $800 million we gave to a movie in 1 month. Money we still have. We have to get that money, or a percentage of that money. We have to get a percentage of our people's discretionary entertainment dollars so that we can invest in and build for our people, because no one is coming to save us. Think about what I'm about to tell you, and just think about it for a minute. If one black person goes out to get another black person, that makes 2 black people. If those 2 black persons go out to get 2 more, 1 getting 1, that makes 4. Those 4 go out and get 1 getting 1, that makes 8. That 8 go out and get 1 more, that makes 16. They go out another day and get 1, and 1 gets 1, that makes 32. If we did that, 1 black person going out to get another black person, 1 getting 1 for 28 days, less than a month. If 1 black person goes out to get another black person, and if we did that for 28 days, 1 getting 1, if everyone at the end of that 28th day gives $5, we have $1.3 billion plus. Economics is not our issue. Intellectual capital is not our issue. Physical capital is not our issue. Relationship capital or spiritual capital are not our issues. 2 of our greatest issues are that we're not connected and we're not organized. So if we want some of this stuff to come into fruition, we have to be connected and we have to be organized. So we have to pool our economic resources to move our people forward. And number 3, excuse me, we absolutely must have political power. So we have to build a political machine that's designed to build political power from the grassroots level up. We have to start from the bottom of where our people are in the community on the ground. And we have to educate the grassroots population as to the importance of having political power and how you get it. And that political machine has to be functioning 365 days a year. And we're always paying attention to what's happening politically, because that is how this war that we're born into is fought and how it's won. We've never done that before. Had a national political machine that's functioning for the purpose of putting black people in office for the purpose overall of building power for black people. If we want to be in a position by which we can own and or control the environment, if we want to make sure that every aspect of that environment is pro-black, then we have to control that political system. And we can't do that without political power. Number 4, we have to create a 21st century Black Wall Street community. Not just one, but several of them. We have strategic advantages right now in hundreds of small cities and towns around America that are predominantly black. With the right leadership that we have, with the right strategy that we have, we can turn these predominantly black towns and cities into 21st century Black Wall Streets, connect them with Africa, and we're making history. At that point, we're playing chess on a completely different level, and we have power to push back against some of the things that are happening to our people. And lastly, number 5, we have to connect with like-minded black people around the world. We have to understand that melanated people, African-descended people, our people, melanated, African-descended people, we outnumber non-melanated people 7 to 1. There are a lot of African-descended people on the planet. If we only did business with ourselves, we'd be just fine. But of course, we don't know that because we've been conditioned not to believe that and or understand that. That is why it's so critically important that as we are getting our stuff together here in America, we have to always, always, always be about connecting with brothers and sisters who aren't in America, because that is the kind of unity that we need, we absolutely must have to push back against the things that are happening to us here. Our unity is our greatest weapon against white supremacy, against racism, because if we're unified, if we're connected, if we're organized, if we understand politics, then we can put things in place that we've never had before that can put our people in a position to win, and we can get back to running the planet like we used to. So, if you want more information about all this stuff that I've just shared, if you want a concrete solution, a 1, 2, 3 process, a 1, 2, 3 step process as to how you can be a part of a solution that's intelligent, that's strategic, that's methodical, that's practical, that's realistic, and you want to be a part of answers to build power for black people, if you want to do something after these protests that really matters, then please visit our events website, blackgo-wakandarising.com, and click on after the protests. We have right now a 100 city virtual tour because we are building teams of black people around the country in 100 cities. And we're doing this because we understand that we cannot make it if we're not connected and if we're not organized. This is too big for one person to do. This is too big for one organization to do. We absolutely must have a leadership in place that knows what they're doing, which we have. We absolutely have to have organization on the ground as it relates to how we push back in all the ways we're being attacked, which we have. And we have to build teams that are connected with the right leadership, with the right solutions that we are implementing right now. So again, if you want to be a part of something that's real, if you want to be a part of something that's practical and that makes sense, if you want to be a part of something that fully understands what we're up against as it relates to the conditioning of our people, if you want to be a part of a movement that has leadership, that has an undying love and commitment to black people, then check out our events website, blackgo-wakandarising.com. Click on after the protest, read what's there. If you can dig it, click on register now and register for your city and help us organize teams of black people so that we can push back against everything that's happening to our people. Nothing stops until we stop it. And if we continue to do the same things we've been doing for the past 400 years, it's not going to stop. The protests are wonderful, but the protests are just a start, just a first step in the right direction. So please share this video. Please help me make this video go viral. Please make sure the hashtag the hashtag from protest to power is a part of the video that you share. And please help us build a new kind of reality for our people by attaching yourself to a movement that gets it. We understand what we're up against. We understand our people. We understand what we're dealing with, and we understand how to push back. What we are doing on purpose because, again, we understand it. The Black Go Nation movement is not playing marbles. We are not playing checkers. We are most certainly playing chess. But we need more chess players because, again, this is too big for one person to do. This is too big for one organization to do. So if you want more information about how to be a part of a solution that is real, that's concrete, that's strategic, that's intelligent, that's methodical, that's practical, then that will be the Black Go Nation movement. We are the culmination of all of the movements that have come before us because we've studied those movements We've studied those leadership, that leadership. A lot of us have lived under the tutelage of some of that leadership. And we are taking what they got right to the next level. And because we've studied them, we're now making those mistakes. And we need more black people. We need you to be a part of this movement. Because no movement moves without people, and this movement is no different. So, again, www.blackgo-wakandarising.com. Click on After the Protest and register for your city so we can build these teams of black people to push back against everything that we're up against. Lastly, always remember two things. One, always remember that no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And lastly, always remember that nothing is more sacred. Not me, not you, not your family, not my family, not your kids, not my kids. Nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of black people. Because if black people don't make it, you're not going to make it, I'm not going to make it, our children aren't going to make it, and our families aren't going to make it because they are connected to the black group. So again, please share this with 5 or 10 black people. Please remember to add the hashtag from protest to power and help me make this video go viral so that we can put out information that matters, information that's intelligent, information that makes sense, information that's practical, that we can use, and we can stop just putting out stuff because it sounds good, because it makes sense, and it's not connected to any sort of intelligent, proven solution. Again, I have been very fortunate and blessed to have lived in an environment here in Houston, Texas, that was owned and controlled by black people. The Black Gold Nation movement is based upon the teachings of the Reverend Albert B. Clegg, Jaramogi Baby Ajiman, that started in 1953. I'm not just talking about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm not just talking about the 199 times that we built our own stuff, used our separation as a basis to build power. I'm talking about what I've lived. I'm talking about what I know black people can do. I'm talking about how my children were raised. Every black child deserves to be raised in an environment as my children were. Safe, whole, healthy, protected. There's nothing black people cannot do when black people put their minds to doing it. We simply need to put our minds to the right things in the right way and move, because no one is coming to save us.